And it's a brand new day. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Rundown with Ramon. We give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com and producer and host of The Rundown with Ramon. You're in for a good time today. We got an amazing episode coming up for you today. We're going to talk about faceless content creators are the new viral sensation. I'm going to spend some time in getting in this to some degree. Interesting article in the Wall Street Journal. They're desperate for jobs and letting everybody know about it. How to sell without being annoying. A relationship-driven approach. Mark Schaefer talks about the power of a signature story, your critical marketing asset, and Daniel Lubetzky took KIND snacks from an idea to $5 billion. Here's his best advice for anyone who wants to start a business. I hope you're doing fantastically blessed and well today. If you've joined the Rundown with Ramon just now and you're feeling great, that's amazing. Deborah, good day to you. Deborah, good day to you. Glad you're here. If you just started listening to the Rundown with Ramon and you're not feeling so great, well, I hope I can be a part of your day to help you feel just a little bit better. And if you're on the Rundown with Ramon today and you're already feeling fantastically great, well, that's good that I can be a part of your already fantastic day. So we have a lot in store for you today, so let me get right to it. But I'm feeling pretty good, feeling well. Got my cup of Cafe Bustelo here. I don't know why, but I've been drinking Cafe Bustelo now for about 2 years or so. My wife got me on it after she bought a Keurig machine some time ago, and I wasn't a coffee drinker for much of my life. But over the past few years, maybe after the pandemic and all those kind of things, I'm sure some of us have changed some of our lives in some way, shape, or fashion. Anyways, you're not here to hear about my life. Well, you are to a degree. So let's get started to the Rundown with Ramon. All right, and we're back. Ding, 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 ding. Getting started here. Don't look at me. Why faceless creators are the new viral sensation reports. The Hollywood Reporter. Bottom line, the Hollywood Reporter is saying, wait, you don't have to put your face on video on social media anymore. You can just use a thing, an object. And I thought that was interesting because I've been pushing for people to show their face. I've been pushing for people to get out there, that videos can humanize and personalize your brand. But the Hollywood Reporter is talking about a phenomenon that is not new, that people are doing for a while, but saying, hey, listen, you don't have to show up. Here's a quote here. I feel like a lot of content creators who show their face have this pressure and judgment over their looks or identity, says Victoria, a woman in her 20s in New York City who asked to be referred to by her name only to protect her identity. I never really wanted to put my face out at all. So that's one reason many people don't want to do it. But rumor has it, or the stats show it, that you don't have to show your face. Victoria is just one member of a burgeoning class of creators getting famous without showing their face. Here's the stats. Since launching her account in January 2023, she has amassed an audience of more than almost 2 million followers on TikTok and over 2 million on YouTube. One of her most popular videos on YouTube, which shows herself prepping a bath, has more than 80 million views. I don't fully understand it. Well, you know what? I take that back. I do understand it because I watch a lot of videos where people's faces aren't showing. I watch a lot of videos about engineering, a lot of videos about like weird things, a lot of videos about how to make stuff. So I get it. I do get it fully. James Nord, founder and CEO of Four, an influencer marketing company, says as follows. We're seeing an increase in faceless content as more camera-shy people try to make it as a content creator. Now, this doesn't mean that every creator who's not using their face is shy. Absolutely not. But this does mean that there's a whole market for creators who can create content and their face is not being shown. As social media has become overrun with fast-paced, attention-grabbing videos, Faceless content can feel refreshing. Users say faceless videos are less aggressive. There's a simplicity to them that's a nice break from other videos on the platform, said Nord. So this is a real thing. If you're looking to get into content marketing, you're listening to get to social media, you don't have to show your face. Does that give a sigh of relief to anybody? Lewis, a faceless creator in Nebraska, points out that she doesn't even post her face on Instagram stories. As a mother, she says that she likes how being a faceless influencer means not having to do hair and makeup and be on camera. I do not want to get fully ready to film on video. I don't love even being on camera. I think it's very awkward being seen. Last point here, I'll read here. Several women note that while faceless influencing does eliminate a lot of scrutiny, followers still judge the parts of you that they can see in videos. Isn't that amazing how this works? People still judge us. People still judge us, Deborah. People still judge us, the musical web. I love this comment. Makes me wonder how many of those videos, how many of those views convert into sales with faceless content? You're exactly right, musical web. Great question. I don't know. And again, many people are doing that, probably doing that just so that they can feel great, just so they can feel great, just so they can have video to do. So who knows? But for me, it's about sharing the education, sharing the content for what I'm doing, like here. But listen, there's a crop of people that are saying we don't have to show our face. So I'm curious where you fall on this, Karen. I'm curious where you fall on this, musical web. I'm curious where you fall on this, Deborah. Are you saying, yeah, let's do some more video and I don't really have to show my face? I know some people have been live with me and like they've been in a dark room. That looks weird. They had their face covered. That looks weird. So if you're going to be a creator, if you're going to be an influencer, if you're going to produce content, then I guess the best way to do that is take a cup like this and stir it up and I guess hide your face and only show the cup or things like that. But interesting relief to many people who are like, you know what? I don't want to show my face, or I don't want to get ready. I don't want to have to glam up. I don't want to do this. And the judgment that happens, I've never been one that gives a darn about judgment. That's just me. But clearly there's a number of people that are like, you know what? We don't want to be judged. We don't want people talking smack about us. So I totally get that aspects. Karen Isaacs, my good friend, she says, I love being on Zooms, but I absolutely freeze being filmed looking at the little black eye in the studio. Karen, you are a ball of fun. And I totally get it. Some people, indeed, they like being on there, but they kind of got to look at the camera lens and see themselves on it. They're like, oh, wow, that's me. So I totally get that. But listen. Hope this has shown you there's different ways to make different content for different people all the time. Everybody doesn't have to show their face on video. Some people may be just comfortable not showing their face. And instead of showing their face, to show a product, to show a service, to show a series of memes, a series of anything else except their face on video. So I hope that was helpful for you. And that was from the Hollywood Reporter. And in fact, we'll be writing about that more on zoneofgenius.com in the coming days. So look out for that. Interesting other tidbit of news. Ding, 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 ding. Desperate for a job and showing it quite a bit on LinkedIn. Curious to know, is that overdoing it or too much? New job seekers, reports the Wall Street Journal, at the end of their ropes are putting a more brutal spin on their status. A pink banner and the word hashtag desperate. Those who are using the banner say their desperation often reflects the fact that they have been without a job for months or years. My knee-jerk reaction on this is it's not good to do that. That desperation may turn off future job providers. Like, you've been off the market that long. What are you doing, and why are you not in the market, and why does nobody want you? That's just my 2 cents on that. But I could be wrong. But you're seeing that people are putting that hashtag desperate on there, and I wonder what it is. Here's a story. Velasquez was laid off in January. While he has freelanced before to stay afloat, he isn't getting much work this time around. He attributes his lack of work partly to his industry's growing use of artificial intelligence and last year's actors and writing strikes. So he's doing what he can. He's trying, and he's putting desperate. It's hard not to feel desperate. So I wonder, is this helpful or harmful? Wall Street Journal says this: recruiters, hiring managers, and career coaches are divided on whether LinkedIn's open to work banner helps or hurts would-be employees. I don't know what the stats show. I bet that it shows it doesn't really matter, but my thinking is that it's not too good. The desperate banner draws even more attention to someone's need for a job. Yes, recruiters say the tag often helps people get noticed and hired. Maybe, but it could also backfire. Because as I just said, some managers see it as a signal that someone caused problems in their previous workplace, or they're just not doing what they can do to get hired. Courtney Summer Myers, 28-year-old graphic designer and illustrator, putting desperate on her profile as well and wondering, how does that work or not work? There's been a lot of discourse about how this might work. And it goes on and on and on for people like this, putting the word desperate in there and seeing if it worked for them or not. But my question for you, what do you think? If you saw somebody that had desperate in their job profile, would that cause you to hire them more? Would that cause you to hire them less? And I wonder, for those who've been out of work for some time, what are your thoughts about putting the word desperate in your profile? Does that help or hinder what you're doing? For me, if I was advising my child or advising a close friend, I'd probably say, no, let's not put desperate out there. Let's not, make it so desperate. It's like a guy looking for a girl saying, hey, I'm desperate. I haven't had a girl for a while who wants to be my girlfriend. Makes you sound kind of cheap. That's just my 2 cents, but I could be wrong. But I'm curious what you think. As you're watching this, DM me, comment, share with me, email me. You can go to the contact form on Zone of Genius and let me know what you think. Is it okay to put desperate in the LinkedIn header and say, hey, I'm desperate looking for a job? Or is that something we should not do? What do you think? But I think that was interesting. And I'm seeing that. I don't know if I've seen that. I can't remember. But now that, it's one of those things that now that somebody says it's out there, you're wondering, did I see this or not? So that was pretty interesting. Putting desperate for a job or not. I know me, if it was me, you know what I would do? I would just probably work harder for the job. I would work harder for it. And I don't think I'd put desperate on there. That's me. But what say you? Like it here. Deborah chimes in here. I'm not liking the desperate energy. But I am feeling from people sometimes, even without a banner. Recently in a conversation, it was a turnoff. Yeah, you're right, Deborah. And so that's where I fall. I get it. Hey, listen, I guess where I take that desperation and that energy of desperation and work harder to make more connections, work harder to serve more, work harder to add more value, work harder to volunteer more, work harder to do things like that. But I don't think I'd play the card and say I'm desperate. Now, if it was food I needed for my family, if I needed something like that, I'd do anything to get food for my family, or if my wife was starving or she was hanging off something bad was happening. But for a job, I would just do that to work much harder and pull every lever I could to show up. Let's see. The musical web says, I agree. I would work harder to demonstrate my value so I can attract employers. Right. Okay. Let's see. Jen Goldman says, I wouldn't interview if it said desperate. I would interview if frame says open for work. Absolutely. Open for work all day long. But desperate, that wording, just a little bit of, I don't know. Karen says, I would rather see you be authentic about what you have to offer. Show me your talent, says Karen. Absolutely. This is the way it should be. So it looks like everybody here on the Rundown with Ramon is saying, Ramon, desperate for work and not feeling it. But again, some people are doing that. Let's move on to the Rundown with Ramon. We got a few minutes to go here. And again, glad everybody's here on the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. How to sell without being annoying, a relationship-driven approach. Listen, selling is so important to do. Many people don't like to sell. But good sales people identify and understand the need of their customer or their prospective customer. Focus on building relationships, not sales. Didn't I just say this? Build relationships, not sales. Itch too soon. The aspect of human-centered selling is important. Human-centered selling, and emphasize the service you can offer, the solution to their problem, rather than the sale. Once again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. I'm an entrepreneur who started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, authored 5 books. Get to know me better at RamonRay.com. Check out my weekly email newsletter at RamonRay.com. If you don't want to miss any insights right here today, definitely check us out at ZoneOfGenius.com, ZoneOfGenius.com, and sign up. Definitely check that out. And let's keep moving on with the Rundown with Ramon. Listen, we got a few more things to go. The Rundown with Ramon. Let me move on to one more topic that's really important. Talking about the signature story. I was recently with my friend Andy Henriquez, a story into profit. Andy Henriquez, story into profit. And I was very interested to see how he talks about turning your story into a key signature of your communication and how you can make money from that. That could be direct money as a professional speaker like I do. People pay you to go on their stage and entertain, edutain their audiences. Or it could be where you're speaking for free because you speak so well, but people are getting something of value from you and paying for that, called back of the room sales, or you're building relationships, getting consulting gigs, something based on a signature story that you have. Interesting. My friend here, Mark Schaefer, talks about that very thing, the signature story, your critical marketing asset. Mark Schaefer's talking about here the power of the signature story. So my question for us all today, if you don't have a signature story, and if you are a communicator, making sure that you have a signature story, something you can go to the market with, could be very important for your career and your future. Knowing your signature story, how to leverage your signature story, how to create the right signature story. Maybe you have one or two signature stories, how you can leverage that as a key, whether you're, again, as a professional speaker, or whether you're working in a corporation, or whether you're doing volunteer work. But there's ways to leverage your story to make an impact and make the world a better place. Ding, 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 ding. One more thing here, tip from Daniel Lubetzky, who took KIND snacks from idea to 5 billion. Here's his best advice for anyone who wants to start a business. Daniel says the following. He sold it to Mars in 2020 for 5 billion. He told Entrepreneurial, reading this from them, that it's important to find your purpose without following others. To find your purpose, what do you do best? And he says it gives you the fuel to be strong. When you're starting a business, you're going to have so many challenges. But if you're doing it for something that you really believe in, you're much more likely to overcome those moments of pettiness or jealousy or all of those feelings getting inside of all of us. This is important to understand. What do you do best? What do you like to do? What can you get paid to do? And the reason why this spoke so much to me is because this is the whole ethos of what we talk about at zoneofgenius.com. Thriving in your zone of genius, not for you trying to be like me, not for me trying to be like you, but respecting that we each have our own zone of genius. I encourage you, if you like what we shared today, go to zoneofgenius.com and check it out. Be clear on what you really, really want to do in life and in business. Ask yourself even, do you want to be in business? Are you hungry enough to get to where you need to be in business? What are your prices like? Are they premium or are they cheap? Understanding your mindset is everything. And seeing, what do you do best? What's that passion you have, that fire burning in you that you can do better than anybody else, and you can do it all day long. Once again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here today. Exactly right, Karen. Your why is another way people say it. Your why, your purpose, your passion, what you do combined with what you do best. Listen, it's been a great show. It's been a fantastic show because you're here today. Be blessed, be well, and thanks for listening to the Rundown with Ramon, and see you